1. Roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Simon Severino, your host. And today, my guest is the founder and CEO of Fluidity Technologies. He is also board member and chief medical officer of Community Wellness. And he is a former NASA astronaut and author of The Sky Below. We will deep dive into opportunities for innovation, how to be more an inventor and less of a whiner, and why resilience matters. Welcome, everybody. Scott Parazynski.
Oh, thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Scott, what are you currently creating?
Gosh, I'm involved in so many fun projects right now with my company, Fluidity Technologies. We're actually building electric vertical takeoff and land aircraft with very intuitive controls, such that you could even send your kids to school, flying to school, believe it or not. And then working on remote patient monitoring.
Wait. You can fly my kids to school? How do we do that?
Your kids can fly themselves to school. That's what's going to be in the future. Yes.
They're going to love it.
Trust me on this. Yeah, exactly right. We live in extraordinary times, and I think the technologies to make that possible and safe are right around the corner, and we think that we know how to do that.
They're going to fly around. They're going to have some little things that help them fly around.
Yeah, the electric vertical takeoff and land technology is coming faster than you would expect. When I was a kid, we all wanted our rocket packs, our jet packs. It's taken a while to get to the point where that's possible.
Hoverboard.
Yeah, the hoverboards are now starting to make their presence known, but those are more gimmicky and not really, real methods of transportation. But these are tools that can be used by first responders to travel over the traffic to get directly to the patient within the golden 4 minutes to perform a resuscitation, get them to the hospital for definitive care, for perhaps certain other fire and rescue types of applications. But even just for personal enjoyment, to be able to pick up and fly like a bird to where you want to go and sightsee. These are going to be really powerful, and I think affordable aircraft in the not too distant future. And that's what Fluidity is going to be involved with.
Wow, that's cool. I'm going to tell my kids immediately after this show.
And then other things that we're working on, remote patient monitoring for seniors, so that they can not only live longer lives, but live higher quality lives, to be able to get out in front of their disease progression. This is with a company called Community Wellness. So, and then involved in some other medical device development activities. So keeping really busy, spinning lots of plates.
Why did you write the book, The Sky Below?
I've been very fortunate to have had a number of extraordinary adventures in life, taking me to space on 5 space shuttle missions and doing 7 spacewalks. And I've been to the top of Mount Everest and done some other pretty wonderful adventures through life. But I've also overcome quite a bit of adversity and met challenges head on. And I thought that it would be helpful to people to share not just the joy of success, but also to really describe the hard work that it takes, the resilience to overcome challenges to get where you want to go. It's not a linear path to your dreams. There are hiccups, there are fits and starts, and you need to be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. And I've been able to do that with the help of family and friends and colleagues, and just pure determination. And so I wanted to share that story with readers. And so I hope your listeners will check out the book. It's called The Sky Below. It's on Amazon, of course, and you can get it on audio if you'd like as well.
The Sky Below, everybody. And resilience is so important right now for many people in the world. Some people who are in hardships because it happened to them. And some people, because like you, they are adventurous entrepreneurs, they go into hardship intentionally. What's the resilience? What did you learn about resilience?
Well, yeah, taking you way, way back, when I was a kid, I was a Boy Scout. And in the United States, we have the highest rank is called Eagle Scout. And I think it's called something different in Austria. And in different parts of the world, they have a different highest rank. But it's a very lengthy process to get there. And I don't know how I came upon this strategy, but a lot of my friends gave up after a year or so. This is too hard. It's too long. I'll never get there to the end of the road to achieve, this final rank. And what I decided to do is not really focus exclusively on that ultimate goal, but just divide the task up into manageable, achievable piece parts that I could, be rewarded by. And so in this process, there are merit badges that you have to earn and service projects you have to do and other ranks along the pathway. And so I didn't get discouraged. I was always looking towards the next step and the next step. And it was rewarding. It was fulfilling. I could see my progress towards my end goal. And that same sort of methodology has lasted with me. It got me through medical school. It got me hired by NASA. And it's been extremely successful for me as an entrepreneur, overcoming the inevitable hurdles that we face, building a team, raising funds, getting IP, getting, manufacturing straightened out, the marketing aspects, all the hiccups that, we entrepreneurs face. You've got to have that same sort of mindset. Otherwise, you'd probably give up very early on.
Especially manufacturing right now, supply chains are broken. But even 5 years ago, every manufacturer would tell me, "Oh my God, Simon, it's so hard. It's so hard. There are 17 problems every week." And, the more hardware, the more capital and the more problems, basically. It's easy to run software or professional services. It's comparatively easy. And when you have manufacturing, you start having real problems.
Right.
And I'm so curious, which books inspire you, actually, after one word from our sponsors.
Hey, if you like the tools, go grab them for free at strategysprints.com/tools.
Yeah. Would you like me to jump on in?
Please. Which books inspire you?
Well, so you're reading 3 books right now that I think are really helpful and thought provoking. And so there are many books on my bookshelf, and I have a nightstand with tons of books on them. But the ones that are captivating my interest right now, there's a book on Elon Musk that I'm reading, who's, I think, one of the most inspirational, nonlinear, visionary thinkers of our time. And so I really enjoy, getting to understand his unique pathway through life. Another book that is, a challenge, actually. It's a sobering tale of what's happening in parts of the United States right now, but it's a book called Dope Sick, and it's about the opioid crisis in America and just the devastating toll that opioids and meth and other drugs are having in especially rural parts of our country that are underserved. And so it's actually serving as inspiration for me in my work at Community Wellness, the company that I mentioned earlier. How can we deliver care to people in rural parts of America to help them overcome, this devastating burden of addiction? So that's another really thought-provoking book. I highly recommend it to you because this is a problem that exists around the world. And then another book that I've been opening and closing periodically, but it's a fascinating tale of what not to do as an entrepreneur. And it's a book called Bad Blood about Theranos. and Elizabeth Holmes, and how ambition overextended her, and then without a good moral compass, she made some horrible decisions upon which she made other fateful horrible decisions. And so it's I think we can learn not only from successes like Elon Musk, but we can learn a lot from failures as well.
One of your theses is the world is full of opportunities for innovation. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, so I like to describe myself as a motivated whiner, and I encourage everyone to become one. And what this means is, there are inconveniences that we see just walking down the street. You stub your toe on something. Well, why is that there? Does it need to be there? Can we build something around this? And so, I'm constantly looking for problems to fix, and I think if you take this as a mental exercise, if you say to yourself, I'm going to invent something today, doesn't have to be the super collider or the MRI, but I'm going to think of something that I've never come across before, ever in my life before. The first thing you have to do is look for opportunities to make something better. And what you'll find is that the hardest part of the inventive process is just making that, answering that first question. What around me needs to be fixed, and then bringing, solutions engineering to solve that problem is generally fairly straightforward. And so I actually have a mental challenge for myself, and every day I try and think of something, entirely brand new. Now, what you'll find is that many of the things that you come up with have already been invented or discarded as, well, not practical, or it's too expensive. There's not a market for it. But if you
make
keep
a
on
list of things that, like, today I have to invent something on my list.
I have a notebook that I keep with me, and so I always have dozens and dozens of things that I like to get back and work on. So I have all sorts of projects in evolution that I'm working on. So, and then as I said, a lot of the things that you come up with have either been done before, or they're not really large enough problems to justify a business. But it's a great framework. And I discourage people from being just whiners. That you've got to be a motivated whiner. You've got to take the extra step to say, okay, well, this is a problem, but I'm smart enough, I can fix this.
Now, it's interesting that you do it proactively. It's a habit. I invent one thing every day, because I am more of a react. I'm triggered by things. For example, I go somewhere, I have to wait in line. I go, come on, how is it possible that I have to wait in line? Let's invent a number system or something like that, right? So when I'm pissed off, and I'm easily pissed off, then I try to come up with a better idea.
Sure.
And I like Jerry Seinfeld so much because he's basically like that, goes through the world, and then he hates a word and he starts ranting, and we all laugh, right? But you say, yeah, okay, that's one level, but I'm doing this every day. Why do you do that?
Because it is a way of paying it forward. It's a way to use your mind to make the world, at least in some small fashion, a better place. And so, looking for opportunities to help make your community, the world, a better place, I think is something that's worth doing. It's also a great exercise to keep your mind, always churning, towards a higher level of awareness. So, it's just a habit that I've gotten into that.
That's smart.
Paid a lot of dividends.
You keep your mind occupied with a good thing. You don't have time, for the mind to do all that stuff that the mind does.
Right.
That's smart. And so is this how you came up with the idea of the rocket thing? The people fly wherever they want to fly?
Well, these are, electric motors. So these are multi-rotor aircraft, and the one that we're building will actually have wings as well. But yes, so this is all part of my efforts to improve personal transportation and also solve the first responder problem in our big cities. The parts of the world, we have a partner in the Philippines, and I've been in traffic in Manila, and it can take you 45 minutes to travel one city block, at least in pre-pandemic times, in full traffic. And so I was thinking, well, gosh, if there ever were a person with a heart attack, it would take 2 hours for an ambulance to get to them, and by then, all bets are off. And so, working with this partner of ours, we're working to develop these electric vertical takeoff and land aircraft.
So the first one to have the chance to use it will be first responders. Then I guess there is a lot of military application. When do you think people like you and me can fly around for fun?
Well, our vision for this is to actually create the equivalent of the Ford Model T, or we could call it the Ford Model T Bird, if you will. But it's creating an affordable aircraft that could sit in your garage. You could, roll it out to your driveway, take off vertically, extend the wings, and go fly. So we want this to be affordable and accessible to everyday folks like you and me. And then also to be accessible in the developing nations of the world, to serve their industrial and other purposes as well. So a lot of the emphasis in this marketplace so far has been in high-end, multi-million-dollar aircraft, and there's a real need and a real opportunity at the other end of the cost spectrum.
I don't know if you can talk about it. What will the combustion be? Which energy will you use?
So these will be likely hybrid, so electric batteries, as well as hydrogen to begin with. As I'm sure you're aware, energy density in batteries has not really gotten to where we would ideally like them to be. So that technology is advancing quickly, but we're likely to be looking at kind of a hybrid power plant.
Super cool. So The Sky Below, everybody, go and grab the book. And I have to tell my kids right now that someday they will fly to school. You cannot imagine how happy they will be. And they get it immediately. I don't have to explain anything. And they're either surprised that we are not doing it right now. And who should be my next guest?
Well, I don't know if you could get him, but as we were talking, I was thinking, well, I knew that you're going to be asking me this question. Elon Musk is, I think, the most interesting visionary of our day. I think, in that he's able not only to come up with bold, brilliant ideas, but he also has the means to then go out and execute them. So, one of the limitations that I have personally is that I don't have the deep pockets to be able to invest in all the different projects that I'm most interested in. But he's in a unique spot where he's got an interest in obviously transportation, energy capture and storage, and interplanetary travel, in neuroprostheses, and being able to use basically implantable computers to control technologies and so on. So with that kind of resource, you can do a whole lot. So I would think that he would be an amazing guest if you could get a hold of him.
Definitely one of the most inspiring CEOs, innovators on the planet. Absolutely. And if people want to find you, except your book, The Sky Below, which they can buy everywhere, where do you hang out? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, Twitter and Instagram at AstroDocScott. And then my website, which has got a lot of information, great photos from all over the world, including inside active volcanoes and deep beneath the oceans and other expeditions I've been on. It's just my last name, Parazynski.com. And so invite folks to check that out as well.
Thank you, Scott, for sharing your adventures, your wisdom, your activities with us. And please come back soon.
Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.